Hello everybody, hope you're well. I thought I'd just give you an update. It's been a couple of weeks since I've sent out any videos. We've been busy in school again this week. We've had up to 16 children in on some days, which seems to be about the highest we get. We nearly had 17, but then somebody couldn't come in on one day, so the record has not yet been broken. Thank you to Mrs. Comber, Miss Byford, Mrs. McDevitt, Mr. Hall and Mrs. Riley have been in working hard this week. And well done to the children who've been so brilliant in school all the time. Actually, some of the children have been in almost every day since we've been closed, and they've been fantastic. So perhaps when we all get back together, we can celebrate what we've all been up to, really. I've had a pretty busy week this week. I've been thinking about how we're going to reopen. We've had lots of discussions among the staff about the best way to do this. As you know, the government have said that they want schools to be open, or primary schools to be open to certain year groups from June the 1st, which would have been at the end of half term. So we're working very hard on doing that. They want schools to open for nursery, reception, year 1 and year 6 to start with. And they've also expressed the view that they would like all the children in primary schools to be back for the last 4 weeks of the summer term, which to my mind seems to indicate that everybody will be back by the 22nd of June. All of this is contingent on various different things about the national picture and how it goes when we start reopening to those year groups a little bit, I think. So we're waiting to see what the advice is, if it changes at all. So we are planning how we're going to do it, and I thought I'd just give you a little bit of information about what we're thinking of doing. We're at quite an early stage of planning yet, and we've still got a couple of weeks to go, but we are putting it all together. So the plan will be that those year groups will come in, but each class will be split into 2 groups of 15, because the guidance is that it's a maximum 15 children per class. So the children will be split into 2 groups. One group of 15 children will come in the morning in each of the classes in those year groups, and the other group of the children will come in the afternoon. So the plan is that the children will have their regular teacher, where that teacher can come in, and more often than not that will be the case, or they'll have a teacher that they know anyway, and they'll be in their usual classroom. So the morning session will finish before lunch, and the children will go home at lunchtime, and the afternoon session will start after a short break, which will allow us time to clean all the surfaces and the door handles and things like that. Resources used in the classroom there'll be a box for each of the 2 groups. We call those groups bubbles. That's the name we seem to have settled on. So we're splitting the children into bubbles, and there'll be a morning and afternoon bubble in all of the relevant year groups. So that's how we're planning to operate. We've got lots more detail to sort of finalise about pickups and drop-offs, and how we can ensure a good level of distance in between the bubbles. Within the bubbles, I don't think there's going to be much. We'll do our best, but we have to acknowledge that these are children, so there will be some closer interaction, even though we're trying to avoid that. And so we're working on all that. And once we've completed our risk assessment, we'll send that out to all parents to have a look at. It's really up to you whether you bring your children in. I would suggest that you look at all the information that we send out when we've got it all finalised, and think about whether you think it's right for your child to be in school. There isn't going to be any chasing of children, in terms of attendance figures or ringing up parents and things like that. We've asked this week if you can let us know if you are thinking of sending your child in. Of the responses, I think we've had a few responses, 50 or 60, I think, across those 4 year groups, and the percentage-wise is about 50 to 60% of parents who would like their children to come back to school. Probably for those year groups, we will stop providing home learning activities, but there are things like the Oak National Academy and the BBC Bite Size, and there's lots of stuff still on our website possibly that you haven't tackled yet. So for those year groups, nursery, reception, 1 and 6, you'll have to fall back on those. The teachers just haven't got the time to be teaching all day and preparing lots of different home learning packs as well. But again, this will all be finalised, and we'll send it out nearer the time. So that's just a quick update really on what we're thinking about at the moment. If you've got any questions, maybe if it's to do with the reopening, maybe hold on until we've sent out more information. Otherwise, I'm going to be answering the same question 1,000 times. So I'd appreciate if you could, bear with us. We've got a couple of weeks. We'll certainly try and let you have things towards the end of next week, if possible, or early the week before that. I think that's probably pretty much what I wanted to tell you about that. I can't go into too much detail, just give you the overall structure. Once I've got more detail, I promise I'll let you have that. I just want to say thank you to all those children who've been working really hard at home as well. Well done. Keep up the good work. The teachers love seeing your work. And I can say thank you to your parents, but you could too. So thank you, parents, for stepping in as teachers during this period of closure. We really do appreciate it. So keep up the good work, really. I think that's all I've got to say, really. Try and stay safe, of course. I know they've released some of the restrictions on being outside, so if you can get out a little bit more, make the most of this sunny weather. Enjoy yourselves, but look after each other and stay safe, and hopefully we'll all be back together pretty soon. Take care, everyone.